We are about to watch the greatest takedown of Bob Iger's life. Jonas, do you have the video ready?
I watched it.
yeah.
I watched it before I jumped on here. It is, this will be in the video tomorrow, Pro, that we shoot in the morning.
Yeah,
And let me say, as we get ready to do this, folks, the schedule coming up is intense. Tomorrow, Valiant is going to have a video on this. I'm going to have a video on this. They're complementary. You got to watch both of them to understand what's going on. The Pro show will be tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll go until 7:30, like usual. There's so many topics. I'm telling you, people, I've had to back thumbnails up by a week. I've had to back videos up by a week because stuff keeps happening.
This is why Steven is so angry.
We will, maniacal laugh.
It's your damn fault.
So Sunday we'll do the Renegade Online show, and then Monday at 4 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to do the 50K celebration for the Pro channel. 50K, 11 months. You all have made that happen. We're so appreciative, and attitude of gratitude as always. But we're going to have major channel-changing announcements during that 50K. We have
50K.
We've got some big-time changes coming, not only to how we release stuff and the schedule and everything, also changes to the Pro show, also changes to membership rewards. All of it good, all of it increases. So get ready for a whirlwind, as Stewie would say, of content coming.
Oh, yes.
Jonas, I'm ready.
It's weird. There's not even an H in there.
You want me to just
A plethora.
Whence is the video, Jonas? Why forth aren't you playing it? Let's go.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Yeah.
Jonas, play it again. I can't get enough of it. Play it one more time.
Advertising? Blackmail me with money? Go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
And that's moments after Iger was on the same stage. He's still in the house. He's in the room.
Yeah. Okay, wow. Valiant, tell us why Elon is so angry at Disney. Explain it, please.
Earlier in the day, and by that I mean minutes earlier, on that same stage, Bob Iger was out there basically delivering the same, let's just say, certifiable garbage that they did in the recent Disney annual stockholder report that we've all cited, you guys on your show, Pro, and on that Park Place, Jonas and John, and I've talked about it on the Sunday show, where Iger's talking about how, well, the audiences just haven't returned over here to the theaters yet to pre-pandemic levels. Never mind all the movies, including Avatar, that we distributed that could completely blow that theory up. In that same conversation today, he was talking about that same stuff from the annual report. He also goes into the Twitter thing, and people ask him about how they pulled their advertising or why they pulled their advertising off Twitter, which, again, we'll remind folks was based on a complete lie. And yes, we will say the word lie because Media Matters are liars, and they were proven
they manipulated
liars.
the system tremendously to make
yes.
Yes,
they deliberately set a situation up in order to falsify a narrative that they presented to advertisers such as Disney to get them to pull their ads from Twitter, which Disney did. And of course, Bob Iger was probably more than happy to, because Bob Iger is very much on another side of the political spectrum than Elon Musk. So Bob Iger went on stage today at this conference with the New York Times. Who was the guy that was on stage is one of the co-hosts on Squawk Box CNBC with Alex Sherman, by the way, which is why Sherman was tweeting this out as it was going on, with a lot of extra color commentary than what I saw from places like Reuters. But that being said, you wouldn't happen
by any chance to know what Alex Sherman thinks about this, would you?
No, I don't think he didn't go into color commentary. He just posted what happened.
Okay.
God bless him. But no, Bob Iger said, yeah, it just didn't align with us. We felt like we made the right move. I'm paraphrasing, folks, and we just decided not to advertise on Twitter anymore. We have accounts, Disney accounts, professional Disney accounts, social media accounts. They will still be on Twitter, but we just won't spend advertising dollars there. So we're going to keep using Twitter to our advantage, but we don't want to advertise on Twitter anymore. So Elon Musk got up there and told Bob Iger to go f himself.
John, have you ever seen, I mean, you cover this. You are a leading, preeminent individual in covering pop culture and have been for years and years. Have you ever seen Bob Iger put in any kind of similar situation to the richest man saying this in this way?
No, I haven't seen Bob Iger kind of be put in this situation at all. It's really, we haven't really seen anyone really kind of get told at a New York Times conference where all the elite of the elite are gathered, and basically those comments that Musk made. What I find interesting about this is how will Musk retaliate? Obviously, we see these comments here, but we've seen him talk about what does he say, like limiting reach or something like. He has like a phrase, I can't remember what it's called, and we'll see if he actually decides to take action that he can do against the Walt Disney Company by potentially limiting those official accounts' reach if they're still going to be using them, and kind of maybe amplifying voices that are counter to Disney on the platform as well. So that'll be interesting to see if he does something like that and what actually actions he takes afterwards. That's what I'm kind of more interested in. Like, yeah, he made this like real big public statement. It's a super viral clip. It's good to see someone finally kind of another person kind of like almost like a Donald Trump type figure doing this. Like, I feel like he's very channeling it, but he's kind of channeling it in a different way that Trump did on the political sphere. Elon's kind of doing it here in the business sphere. And that's kind of what I'm interested in. What are the next steps? Because obviously this is a huge kind of salvo, and it's a lot of words, but he's going to take action as well. And I think Musk can. He obviously owns Twitter. He has the possibility to take extensive action.
Do you guys know? Do you remember that clip of an MSNBC host talking about the dials on Twitter and how dangerous it would be for Elon Musk to be able to tune the dials? I'll turn down the dials on one person versus turn up the dials on another person. You remember who that was?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go.
Was it Andrew Sorkin?
That would be the dial of destiny for real, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
Well, look,
I just saw a good movie. Don't throw bad ones at me.
Sorry.
But Musk is a populist, just like Trump is and many others. I mean, we are starting to be surrounded by bigger voices that are using that kind of a platform in that way. I think we've seen a few people utilize the platform that way. And yeah, could you imagine, John? And I'm sure, because you were just talking about it, he literally could turn the reach of all of those accounts off. Like, he could just say,
what's the value?
250 people can see this. That's it.
And
what's the net worth of Elon Musk versus Disney?
He's doing pretty good.
It's the difference between having blank you money versus only thinking you do, like Bob does.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, we're talking about somebody, and it's hard to imagine that a single individual is far, far larger than an entire corporation that we focus on every day. Elon Musk is way, way bigger. When he gets up there and says that to Bob Iger, he is saying it to an anthill in comparison.
He's only about 207 billion in net worth right now. So it's
it's a low day there.
It's the difference between the rides at the parks about going to the moon and Mars versus actually doing it.
Yeah,
that's after the market has some may argue culture have artificially deflated Tesla.
Yeah, imagine that. And then, but nobody's stupid enough to do that for too long. Right, because he's going to be the only person.
Somebody's going to buy.
Yeah,
it's not just Musk though. Like, I just wrote an article about this. Like, when you look at Twitter itself and you compare it to all the other social media networks, like it's in some of these instances it doesn't even crack the top 10. Right, like Facebook is obviously the biggest one, but then when you look at the influence and the reach of Twitter, like you are not announcing foreign policy on TikTok. You are not announcing the next moves your country is going to be making on MSN Messenger.
God help
And
us if they
Since
start
when is
announcing policy on
OnlyFans not
TikTok.
foreign policy?
Well, there you go.
Well, that makes sense.
That's
TikTok.
usually announced on TikTok, is it not?
That's right. TikTok right there. Boom. Got it. There we go.
And so
There's a
what I
lot
was-
of Chinese foreign policy in there. All right.
That's fair enough. But what I was trying to say though is that I think Musk knows that he's got a captive audience, and I think Valiant, you had raised this point before. Advertisers will always try to find a way to get into whatever it is wherever there is a captive audience, right? Like cable television was originally designed so that you wouldn't have to have ads. And then and so now, yes, some of these advertisers have pulled out, but they still will, like in some way they will still come back. They will have to come back because Twitter has such an influential audience. Like it's the loudest voice in the room, basically. Or X is.
Go back even further. The movie studios wanted nothing to do with regular TV because why would we give away for free what people have to pay to go see now?
Can I
And they
suggest,
hated Disney when he started doing it.
Mr. Ghost Person guy?
Yes.
Do you remember when Disney could have bought Twitter? And,
Yes.
And Iger's an idiot and didn't do it.
Yeah.
Somebody
Well,
raise your
Iger
hand.
even said it's like there's too many fake bot accounts on there, and we don't think the valuation's correct.
As opposed to what
And
they
then
paid
when
for
Elon
Fox.
came in and said the same thing, there was hell to pay. I mean, it was, Bob Iger says it's okay. Elon Musk says it. He's the Antichrist.
Mr. Ghost, what's Hollywood's reaction going to be tomorrow?
Wow, that's a damn good question.
That's
Obviously,
why they pay me the little bucks.
They'll keep it low key because they all know that people will say, "Well, you have an axe to grind because you're competing with him." Certainly, Warner's won't talk about it. Paramount won't talk about it. Universal certainly won't talk about it.
Yeah, but what are they going to say inside the executive suites when nobody's listening?
They're going to say, "Don't blank with Elon." We don't talk about Elon.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't talk
I mean, he's
about
only
Elon.
worth $250 billion. You know, he could
And
buy
he-
Paramount and Warner Brothers right now,
And,
right?
most of them are driving Teslas right now, so that's another story.
Somebody who has not yet gotten into the
that?
conversation. Go ahead, Valiant, then I want to bring in Lauren.
I'll add to that. Yes, the conversation tomorrow would be, don't piss him off. If you think Nelson Peltz proxy fight could be a problem,
Oh yeah. We've been praying that Elon was going to get involved.
you ain't seen nothing yet, bro.
We were praying.
Oh, please, Elon, make my
this-
year.
This could be the
Mike
start of
Zero
season
is
20.
salivating watching this stream right now. Mike Zero has 12 videos ready to go.
In fact, what Elon is basically saying is, "Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry."
Exactly. Yeah, dude, there is a fire hose he could turn on Disney right now. I was thinking, well, Elon, if you just tossed $8 billion into the room, and
have to be eight.
call Peter Thiel, call
do
Peter
four.
Thiel,
3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, but if he tosses $8 billion in the room, he gets his brother Peter to toss $8 billion in the room. You don't think Disney changes in 2 seconds, especially after the board manipulation that I know we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Is at play. Holy crap!
Yeah,
Lauren?
that's what I found is more the thing that's more the most interesting part about this is what are the next steps that Elon is going to take. And as far as getting back to what Lou Wasserman's Ghost was saying, I could see that maybe someone like Zaslav might actually see an opportunity to strike. He seems to be the one that Iger's like 2 years behind following anyways. At least that's what it looks like. And every time I watch any of that stuff, it feels like Iger's just doing everything that Zaslav did just 2 years later. So I would be interested to see if like maybe someone like Zaslav, who does seem to kind of buck the trend of like what we've seen with most of the people in the C-suite are doing, and he might see an opportunity to strike and pounce on a competitor who is clearly making mistake after mistake after mistake.
Yeah,
Lauren?
but there's a classic. I guess it's Lao Tse who said, "Don't interrupt your enemy while he's destroying himself."
True story.
You know?
All right, I'm going to Lauren now, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Lauren, big question for you is, you have watched Bob Iger and his idiocy destroy franchises that we love. I have never seen any studio, any distributor have as bad a month as Disney has just had. And statistically, no one ever has. And yet Bob Iger's ego was on full display until Mr. Musk stood up and said, "Go blank yourself." Lauren, on behalf of all of those who have watched Iger destroy that which they love, what do you make of this?
Well, I think it's a good thing. I mean, the key to Iger, I think, is his ego. He's always been overly fixated on his own legacy. That's in real danger now. And the fact that Elon is coming out and making a statement like this is the kind of the emperor's new clothes kind of moment that we've been waiting for. And it clearly, the news that's been coming out this month is really getting under Iger's skin. He's getting more vocal about what he's saying in the media. It's looking to me like he's beginning to panic. And as Lou just said, you don't want to interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. So I think that the more mockery that Iger gets, the better, because that's going to force him to continue to try to respond. He's going to keep stepping on his own or tripping over his own feet. That's what we want. So I say keep the pressure on.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone took down Kathleen Kennedy. Elon Musk has just taken down Bob Iger.
I'm just wondering what they're going to do with this.
Oh,
The South Park guys.
Oh, they need to. They need to so badly.
Oh, you don't think they already have like the whole episode completed at this point? It only takes them like 2 hours to do it.
They should.
It's going to be out next Wednesday.
I cannot wait.
Does anyone on this panel want to
Cartman
take the
becomes-
counterposition?
What would be the counterposition?
I don't know, but can anyone defend Iger at this point? I mean, can anyone possibly posit?
Not
the one thing that
realistically.
I would kind of argue is that Disney didn't do this in a vacuum. There were a bunch of other corporations that that made the decision to do. They made the same decision whether or not they were colluding with each other. Leave that up to your own interpretations. But so to me, it's not just Bob Iger happened to be there. He was the target of that. But to me, it's not just Disney and Bob Iger. It was a message to everyone that pulled ads from X, and
because
there's a bunch of them
because of Media Matters, which has been a shakedown company for a decade or however
it needs
long.
To be said that Iger shifted, and the latest thing is it's the ADL. So they started off with the Media Matters, and they tried to shift to what the ADL had said about Elon Musk, but that's because they were on such shaky ground with Media Matters. I think they were afraid that they were going to be included in some sort of lawsuit against them. So then they switched to the ADL excuse.
Well, you know,
if Disney sorry.
I was just going to say real quick, Lauren, if I'm Elon Musk right now, I would go out onto Twitter and say, hey, Bob, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? If you're so offended by the platform on Twitter that you refuse to spend $1 here to advertise anymore, then why don't you immediately cancel all of your official corporate Disney accounts on Twitter now?
Yeah.
Now. I would call his butt out and see if he does it, and then put his feet to the fire. Because if Disney refuses to do that, if they still want to actually lever Twitter to their advantage and just not be a corporate sponsor, then they're liars and hypocrites. Call them out right now, Elon. Call them out.
I've already seen people kind of go back to the Mulan stuff too, with them thanking them for the concentration camps.
If I were Disney and wanting to improve my financial fortunes, the next thing that I would do is Bob Iger, is challenge Elon Musk to a televised boxing match and sell tickets to that and see how that goes.
I want to show you guys the vaporous way that Iger adheres to his own virtues. Yes, the Disney account has not posted for weeks on Twitter/X. Disney Plus, however, and the other affiliated Disney accounts, they continue to post.
Oh yeah, Disney Parks within the last 24 hours.
Right. So this was always a virtue signal, an empty, vacuous virtue signal without any teeth to it. Iger just wants to have the empty virtue. He just wants to stick it to people that he disagrees with ideologically without taking any kind of penalty. And I'll say this too, pulling the advertising off of X, I think there is no better humiliation following that than the dismal appearance of Wish at the box office.
Oh.
So congratulations, Iger, on pulling your advertising. I'm sure that really went and helped out your movie, which is the biggest animated flop for any princess movie you have ever produced in 100 years. Congratulations on that.
Just think of the cast activations that they're not going to get.
Yes, those
Is
darn cast
Marvel's considered a
reactivations.
princess movie too, or no?
Well, and then
So-
link all
So to
link
that
all
point,
those.
though, you can argue that Iger is actually saving the company money, and he's able to virtue signal at the same time because he's what is he advertising? The Marvels, Wish, people that aren't. It's just wasting money anyways.
Besides,
kind of
Bob,
back to your like counterpoint to like try and justify what he's
besides,
doing.
it's just it's too hot to advertise on Twitter at this time of the year. It's just
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
it's
people
too dang hot.
Nobody's paying attention to Twitter. It's too hot. They won't. It's too hot for them to pay attention. No, honestly, do that. What you do is you turn down the dials on all those accounts, but then you turn down the dials on all the shill accounts. Our world would get so quiet. It would be virtually silent without the Disney.
Yeah,
show.
that's a good point. They would have to stop advertising, stop posting, and also stop feeding certain prominent Twitter
Feed the
accounts.
shills.
Well,
Tuppence
okay,
And,
so
and
I
and
don't
by the way, if you're paying these so-called influencer shills, isn't that advertising anyway?
It
yes,
is.
yes. And I'll say this. So I don't think that Elon needs to be manipulating the
logarithm.
visibility of anything, because I'm totally into free speech. That said, when Disney disconnects themselves from a social media service or platform, all of those shill accounts that are connected to Disney that are, what would you say? The megaphone goes to them through their connectivity with Disney. When Disney exits, so does their visibility. So they get de-amplified.
Oh yeah,
And
we
so,
know about
good job, Disney.
the special Google Drives and all those things that
We do.
they have
Oh, yeah.
access to and all that.
Toolkits.
Yeah.